The first time my sister-in-law threw a glass of wine in my face. I just stood there at Maison Laurent, mascara running down my cheeks, watching her perfectly staged Instagram live video capture every humiliating second. The crystal chandelier's light caught the burgundy droplets dripping from my chin as Diana, my mother, rushed to comfort Sophia while shooting daggers at me with her eyes. The other diners' phones were already out, recording what would soon become viral content. I'm Emma, and I've spent 32 years being the family disappointment. Not because I've done anything wrong. I have a stable job as a medical office administrator, share a decent apartment with a roommate, and I've never been in trouble with the law. No, my crime was simply existing in the shadow of my perfect brother, Nathan, and his wife, Sophia, the marketing executive who never lets anyone forget her corner office or her Instagram following. You ungrateful little. Sophia hissed, her perfectly manicured finger pointing at my chest, her other hand still gripping her phone to maintain the live stream. How dare you suggest I had anything to do with your promotion being denied? Do you know how many followers are watching this right now? I wiped the $200 wine from my face with a pristine white napkin, watching the burgundy stain spread like blood. I saw the email you sent to the hospital administrator. You told him I was emotionally unstable. Emma, stop making up stories, Diana snapped, rubbing Sophia's shoulder as she adjusted her designer dress. Why do you always have to cause drama at family gatherings? Especially at a restaurant like this? The familiar ache in my chest intensified as I looked around at the faces of my relatives, seated according to Sophia's careful planning, me at the far end, almost separated from the main group. Robert, my father, pretended to be absorbed in the wine list, his retirement watch glinting under the chandelier. Nathan crossed his arms, his expensive suit creasing as he positioned himself between me and his precious wife, who was still narrating everything to her live audience. I have proof, I said, my voice barely above a whisper, competing with the soft classical music playing in the background. Sophia laughed, the sound carrying perfectly for her live stream. Show it then. Go ahead. Let all my followers see your evidence. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone, but before I could open my emails, Diana snatched it away, her tennis bracelet catching the light. Enough, she shouted, causing nearby diners to turn their heads. I won't let you ruin another family gathering with your jealousy. Sophia has done nothing but try to include you, and this is how you repay her. At a restaurant she specifically chose to celebrate your promotion. Include me? I couldn't hold back a bitter laugh, gesturing to my seat at the far end of the table. By sabotaging my career? By telling everyone at the hospital I'm mentally unstable? Well, you're certainly acting unstable right now, Sophia said sweetly, angling her phone to capture my reaction. Maybe you should see someone about that. I can recommend several excellent therapists. I'll share their info with my followers after this. Nathan finally spoke up, adjusting his Rolex. Come on. You're embarrassing yourself. And us. Do you know how hard it was to get reservations here? That's when Sophia picked up her glass of Chateau Margaux and threw it in my face. Right there in front of everyone. In front of her thousands of followers. And nobody, not one person at our table, said a word in my defense. You're pathetic, Diana said, shaking her head as she filmed with her own phone now. Look at you, causing all this trouble. Sophia's pregnant, for God's sake. She doesn't need this stress during her first trimester. The announcement hit me like a physical blow, wine dripping onto my department store dress as the live stream's comment section exploded with congratulations. Congratulations, I managed to choke out, backing away from the table, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. I hope you're all very happy together. Emma, wait, Robert called half-heartedly. But I was already walking away, the maitre d' watching with barely concealed disdain. Let her go, I heard Sophia say to her phone. She'll calm down eventually. She always does. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. I grabbed my second-hand purse from the coat check and headed for my beat-up Honda Civic, my legs somehow carrying me despite feeling like they might give out at any moment. As I fumbled with my keys in the parking lot, I heard an elderly couple who had been dining near us asking if I was okay. She's fine, my mother's voice carried across the valet area. Just being dramatic as usual. Sophia's the real victim here. She's expecting, you know. I slammed my car door shut and started the engine, my vision blurring with tears as notifications from Sophia's live stream kept lighting up my phone. The same thought kept running through my head. This time would be different. This time, I wouldn't just calm down and let it go. My phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. You owe Sophia an apology. She's carrying your future niece or nephew. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Think about how this looks for her brand. I threw my phone onto the passenger seat and pulled out of the parking lot, tires screeching against the polished concrete. In my rearview mirror, I could see them all gathered around Sophia at the restaurant entrance, probably filming more content about her pregnancy announcement. The rage building inside me felt different from the usual hurt and resignation. For the first time, I wasn't just sad. I was furious. Sophia had crossed a line, and my family had let her. No, they'd encouraged her, all for her precious social media presence. As I drove away from Maison Laurent, I made a decision. I wouldn't just disappear this time. I wouldn't just take it. Sophia wanted to paint me as unstable on social media? Fine. I'd show her what happened when you pushed someone too far. I pulled into a strip mall parking lot and grabbed my phone, searching for local support groups. I needed allies, people who would understand, people who would help me fight back. The first result caught my eye. Breaking free from toxic family dynamics. Meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. I checked the time on my wine-splattered watch. 6:15 p.m. Just enough time to get there. For the first time that day, I smiled. At the community center's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I slipped into the back row of metal folding chairs, still wearing my wine-stained dress. A dozen people sat in a circle, their faces showing varying degrees of exhaustion and pain I recognized all too well. The smell of instant coffee and store-brand cookies filled the room, a stark contrast to the fancy restaurant I'd fled from. Would anyone like to share tonight? The group facilitator, a gentle-voiced woman named Rita, looked around the room, her worn nameplate catching the harsh light. My hand shot up before I could stop myself. Maybe it was the lingering anger, or maybe it was just knowing I had nothing left to lose. But suddenly, I needed to speak. My phone was still buzzing with notifications from Sophia's followers, each vibration fueling my determination. I'm Emma, I said, my voice cracking. And today, my sister-in-law threw wine in my face while live streaming it to her thousands of followers, and my entire family watched and did nothing. A collective gasp filled the room. A woman with bright purple braids and a sleek laptop covered in social media stickers leaned forward. She did what? Threw wine in my face, then announced she was pregnant, so everyone rushed to comfort her instead. I let out a shaky laugh. And the best part? She's been secretly sabotaging my career at the hospital, but I'm the one who needs to apologize for how it might affect her influencer brand. That's messed up, a man in a navy blazer said, his business card holder peeking out of his pocket. Like, seriously messed up. Have you considered the legal implications of workplace harassment? I'm Jamie, the woman with purple braids said, typing something on her laptop. And I know exactly what it's like when toxic people hide behind pregnancy and social media to get away with abuse. The man in the blazer nodded. Marcus, he introduced himself. Former family scapegoat, current civil rights attorney, specializing in workplace harassment cases. At the 24-hour diner. After the meeting, Jamie and Marcus approached me in the parking lot, the streetlights casting long shadows across the asphalt. Want to grab coffee? Jamie asked, her social media analytics dashboard still glowing on her laptop screen. You look like you could use friends right now. Plus, I'd love to show you what's happening with your sister-in-law's live stream metrics. 20 minutes later, we sat in a worn vinyl booth at a 24-hour diner, and I found myself spilling everything over lukewarm coffee and stale pie. The fluorescent lights made the wine stains on my dress look even worse. So, she sent an email to your hospital administrator? Marcus pulled out a legal pad. Do you still have proof? It was forwarded to me by a nurse who saw it accidentally. I have screenshots. But what? Jamie pressed, her fingers flying over her keyboard as she monitored Sophia's social media activity. But every time I try to stand up to her, I end up looking like the crazy one. She's so good at turning everything around. She has this perfect online presence, the successful marketing executive, the loving wife, the mom-to-be. Who's going to believe the medical office administrator who can barely afford her share of the rent? Classic narcissist move, Marcus said, making notes. They push you until you react, then use your reaction to prove you're unstable. And social media makes it even easier for them to control the narrative. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Nathan. Mom's having an anxiety attack because of you. Hope you're happy. Think of what this stress could do to Sophia and the baby. Jamie glanced at my phone and scowled. Let me guess, they're already trying to make you feel guilty while she's probably posting about family drama on her stories. I nodded, pushing my phone away, as another wave of notifications from Sophia's followers flooded in. You know what's interesting? Marcus tapped his pen against his legal pad. People like your sister-in-law usually have a pattern, especially in corporate environments. I bet this isn't the first time she's done something like this to someone. What do you mean? I mean, we should do some digging. Social media history, previous companies, old colleagues. People talk, especially if they've been hurt. And in the age of digital footprints, nothing really disappears. Jamie's eyes lit up as she pulled up multiple browser windows. I'm good at that kind of research. It's literally my job. I help companies track their social media impact, and sometimes that means finding the skeletons in their digital closets. I don't know. I hesitated, watching the diner's neon sign flicker through the window. Isn't that going too far? Did she go too far when she threw wine in your face and broadcast it to thousands of people? Jamie asked quietly. When she tried to ruin your career at the hospital. Before I could respond, my phone lit up with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a Facebook post. It was Sophia posting about the unfortunate family incident and how she was praying for my mental health during her precious early pregnancy journey. Oh, hell no. Jamie grabbed my arm, her purple braids swinging as she leaned in to read. She's trying to control the narrative. We need to act fast before this goes viral in the wrong way. I think I found something, Marcus said, scrolling on his phone. Sophia used to work at Sterling Marketing Group, right? I nodded, remembering the company name from her endless LinkedIn updates. Well, according to this article from 3 years ago, there was a huge HR scandal there. Several employees filed complaints about workplace bullying and career sabotage. No names were mentioned, but the timing matches when she left for her current position. My hands started shaking as I reached for my coffee cup. That's exactly what she did to me at the hospital. Emma, Jamie leaned forward, her eyes intense. You're not crazy. You're not dramatic. You're being abused, and she's using social media to gaslight you on a massive scale. And it's time to fight back. But my family will either wake up or show their true colors, Marcus finished. Either way, you'll be free. Just then, my phone buzzed with an email. My heart stopped when I saw the sender, Sophia's former assistant from Sterling Marketing Group. Subject: I saw your sister-in-law's viral restaurant video. We need to talk. Jamie squeezed my hand. Open it. With trembling fingers, I tapped the email. As I read, my eyes widened. Well? Marcus asked, legal pad ready. I looked up at my new allies, a strange calm settling over me. She didn't just try to ruin my career at the hospital. She's done this before. Multiple times. And her former assistant has proof, including videos she never posted to her perfect social media feed. Then what are we waiting for? Jamie grinned, opening a new spreadsheet. Let's get to work. First, we need to archive everything before she starts deleting evidence. Back at Jamie's apartment, later that night. Play it again, Jamie said, leaning forward in her ergonomic chair, surrounded by monitors displaying Sophia's social media analytics. We were gathered in her tech-filled apartment, reviewing the recording Sophia's former assistant had sent me. Sophia's voice filled the room through high-end speakers. I don't care what you have to do, just make sure Sarah doesn't get that promotion. Plant something in her desk, if you have to. That position is mine. And make sure there's no trail. My social presence has to stay clean. That's the third recording we found of her threatening someone's career, Marcus said, organizing files in a legal document. All with the same pattern, and all carefully kept off her public feeds. I nodded, feeling slightly sick, as I watched my wine-stained dress dry on Jamie's bathroom door. And all of them ended up having mental breakdowns at work, just like she's trying to do to me at the hospital. Your sister-in-law's been busy, Jamie muttered, scrolling through layers of social media data. Look at this. 5 different workplaces in 7 years. Each time climbing higher by stepping on others. And every time she managed to make herself look like the victim online. My phone buzzed. Another text from my mother. Sophia's having terrible morning sickness. The stress you're causing isn't helping her pregnancy journey. Why can't you just apologize? Think of her followers. Don't respond, Marcus warned, seeing my expression. That's exactly what they want. More social media drama to use against you. I know, I said, my voice catching. But it's hard. They're still my family. Family doesn't let someone publicly humiliate you for likes and shares, Jamie reminded me firmly. A knock at Jamie's door made us all jump. Through the peephole, I saw Nathan standing in the hallway, his expensive suit looking wrinkled after a long day. "It's my brother," I whispered. "Record everything," Marcus said quickly, helping me set up my phone's voice recorder. Jamie was already capturing backup footage on her security cameras. I opened the door. Nathan looked tired, his usual polished executive appearance slightly rumpled, his Rolex catching the hallway's fluorescent light. "Can we talk?" he asked, eyeing Jamie's tech setup with suspicion. "Are you here to collect another apology for your wife's social media feed?" He winced. "Look, I know things got out of hand at the restaurant, but..." "Out of hand?" I stepped back, letting him see Jamie and Marcus at their workstations. "Your wife threw wine in my face, Nathan. On a live stream. In front of hundreds of viewers. She's pregnant, Emma. Her hormones. Don't you dare." Jamie stood up, her purple braids catching the blue light from her monitors. "Don't you dare use pregnancy to excuse abuse on social media." Nathan's eyes narrowed. "Who are you?" "Emma, what is this setup?" "These are my friends," I said. "The only people who actually defended me after your wife assaulted me for content." "Assaulted?" Nathan laughed. "Now you're being dramatic. It was just an unfortunate moment that got captured on stream." Marcus pressed play on the recording we'd been reviewing. Sophia's voice filled the room again, detailing her plans to sabotage Sarah's career, complete with social media strategy. Nathan's face went pale. "What is this?" "Your wife's greatest hits," I said. "Want to hear more?" "We have plenty. And none of them match her carefully curated online image." "Where did you get these?" His voice shook slightly as his eyes darted between the monitors, showing his wife's digital footprint. "Turns out I'm not the first person Sophia's tried to destroy," I said, watching Jamie's analytics showing the restaurant video going viral. "Just the latest in a long line. But I'm going to be the last." "Are you threatening my wife's reputation?" "No," I said calmly. "I'm promising to expose the truth behind her perfect Instagram facade. Unless..." "Unless what?" I took a deep breath. "Unless she publicly admits what she did to me and the others. Unless she gets help for whatever makes her need to destroy people while maintaining her flawless online presence." "You're trying to blackmail us." Nathan's face reddened, his designer tie askew. "I'm trying to stop her before she hurts anyone else," I corrected. "Including your baby, if there really is one." That hit home. I saw the flicker of doubt in his eyes as he glanced at the data on Jamie's screens. "Think about it, Nathan," Jamie added softly. "What happens when the baby gets older? When they start competing with Sophia for attention? What happens when they succeed at something she wants? Will that end up on her perfect feed too?" "Get out," Nathan said, but his voice lacked conviction as his eyes lingered on the evidence. "All of you, get out." "We're in my apartment," Jamie reminded him, gesturing to her workspace. "But you can leave whenever you want. Just remember, I'm not backing down this time." As Nathan stormed out, my phone pinged with a notification. Someone had shared Sophia's Facebook post about my mental health issues in a local hospital workers group. "Perfect timing," Marcus said, grinning as he pulled up legal documents. "Ready to release the first recording?" I hesitated, watching my social media notifications multiply. What if it backfires? "That's why we have a plan," Jamie reminded me, her fingers flying across multiple keyboards. "We start small, just enough to make people question her perfect online image." My hands shook as I typed out my response to Sophia's post. Interesting how my mental health issues started right after I discovered this email to our hospital administrator. I attached the screenshot, my heart pounding as I hit post. "And now we wait," Marcus said, organizing his legal documents. We didn't have to wait long. Within minutes, my phone exploded with notifications. Sophia was calling repeatedly. My mother left angry voicemails about ruining the family's social standing. But among the family chaos, other messages started appearing. "She did the same thing to me at Sterling Marketing. I thought I was crazy. She gaslighted me for months and made me look unstable on LinkedIn. I have emails too, and screenshots of her perfect Instagram posts from that time. Do you want them?" I looked at my new friends, tears in my eyes. "I can't believe this is really happening." "Believe it," Jamie said, hugging me while monitoring the growing social media storm. "The truth is coming out, and there's nothing her carefully curated feed can do to stop it." Just then, a new email arrived from Sophia herself. Subject line: "We need to talk now." Attached was a link to a private Instagram story. Marcus smiled grimly. "Let the games begin." "Don't open it yet," Marcus warned as I reached for my phone. "Let it simmer." Every influencer knows the power of timing. We were at Jamie's apartment now, watching the chaos unfold across multiple social media platforms. The support group had helped us launch a petition called "Stop Workplace Bullying, Share Your Story," and the responses were flooding Jamie's analytics dashboard. "Another one from Sterling Marketing," Jamie announced, scrolling through her data visualization. "This woman says Sophia threatened to ruin her social media presence and tell ER she was stealing if she didn't quit." My phone buzzed again. Sophia's third email in an hour. Subject: "You're making a huge mistake. Your career at the hospital will be over." Can I respond? I asked, watching my notification count skyrocket. Wait for it. Marcus checked his Rolex. A gift from a grateful client, not a family status symbol. "Your brother should be home from the office right about now." Right on cue, my phone rang. "Nathan." "Put it on speaker," Jamie whispered, hitting record on her professional audio setup. "What the hell are you doing?" Nathan's voice crackled through the high-end speakers. "Telling the truth," I replied. "How Sophia handling the engagement drop on her pregnancy announcement post?" "She's hysterical. Her doctor's worried about the baby's stress levels. Her sponsorship deals are already calling." "Is that what you want? To destroy everything she's built?" "That's rich," Jamie cut in, monitoring real-time analytics. "Using an unborn baby as a shield for her social media empire again." "Stay out of this," Nathan snapped. Emma, you need to take down that post and the petition now. Do you know how many brand deals she could lose? Or what? Or we'll sue you for defamation. Sophia's already talking to her social media lawyers. Think about what this will do to your career in healthcare. I laughed, surprising myself. Perfect. Let's get everything on record in court. I'm sure her former colleagues would love to testify. I bet their stories would make fascinating viral content. Silence on the other end, broken only by the sound of Jamie's keyboards clicking as she tracked the growing online response. Tell Sophia to check her email, I said. I'm about to respond to her messages. I'm sure her followers will be interested in what I have to say. I hung up and opened my laptop, pulling up Sophia's emails, while Jamie's monitors displayed the real-time spread of our story across multiple platforms. Keep it professional, Marcus advised. No emotions. We want the evidence to speak for itself. I typed, Dear Sophia, I'm happy to meet and discuss this situation. Bring your lawyer if you'd like. I'll bring mine, along with documentation from your former coworkers. Your choice. Best regards, Emma. Send it, Jamie said, tracking engagement metrics. As soon as I hit send, a new notification popped up. Someone had shared a video in the petition comments. Oh my God, I whispered as we watched. It was security footage from Sterling Marketing's parking garage, showing Sophia keying a car and then crying to security that she'd witnessed someone else do it, all while taking selfies of her distress. The timestamp, Marcus pointed out. This was 2 days before Sarah's breakdown at work. Who sent this? I asked, watching the security footage play out on Jamie's high-resolution monitor. Anonymous, Jamie said, analyzing the metadata. But the message says former security guard. Happy to verify in court. And look at these viewing numbers. It's already going viral. My phone lit up with a text from my mother. Your father's had to take blood pressure medication because of this drama. Think of what you're doing to Sophia's brand deals. I hope you're satisfied destroying our family's social media presence. Before I could respond, another notification appeared. Sophia had gone live on Instagram. Play it, I said, watching the viewer count climb. Sophia's tear-streaked face filled the screen, her makeup still somehow perfect. I want to address the horrible lies being spread about me. I'm deeply hurt that my sister-in-law, who clearly needs help, has chosen to attack me during my pregnancy. I've only ever tried to help her. Don't forget to use code SOPHIA20 for 20% off at. Is she serious? Jamie muttered, tracking the engagement metrics. She's still pushing sponsor codes. And I forgive her because that's what family does. I just pray she gets the mental health support she needs. Swipe up for my recommended wellness apps. Turn it off, I said. I can't watch any more. Wait, Marcus held up his hand. Look at the comments. Comments were flooding in, but not the supportive ones Sophia usually got. Where's your response to the Sterling Marketing video? I worked with you at Maxwell Corp. Should I share our emails too? Playing the victim while promoting codes. You're the bully. Classic narcissist influencer. Sophia abruptly ended the live stream, her perfect image finally cracking. She's panicking, Marcus said, reviewing the recorded stream. This isn't going according to her content calendar. My laptop pinged with a new email. Unknown sender. Subject line: Sophia Hopkins, May. What she did to me. Inside was a detailed account from someone claiming to be Sophia's college roommate, with screenshots of old social media posts showing a pattern of manipulation and sabotage going back years, carefully hidden beneath perfectly curated Instagram posts. "This is bigger than we thought," Jamie said quietly, her analytics showing the story spreading across multiple platforms. "Forward it to Nathan," Marcus suggested. "He needs to see who he really married, not just her social media persona." As I hit forward, another text came through, this time from my father. "Can we talk?" Just us. No cameras, no phones, no social media. I showed the others. "Go," Jamie said, checking her security feeds. "But meet him in public and keep your phone recording. The way things are spreading online, we need to document everything." I texted back, "Coffee shop on 5th Street in 30 minutes. His response came quickly, "I'll be there." No mom. No Sophia. No phones. Promise. I grabbed my jacket, hands shaking slightly. What do I say to him? "The truth," Marcus said simply. "Just the truth. No filters, no edits. We'll be monitoring everything online if you need us," Jamie added, hugging me as I headed for my car. Sophia's latest email arrived. "You have no idea what you've started. My followers will never believe you." I smiled grimly. For once, she was right about something. She really had no idea what I'd started, and her followers were already beginning to see the truth behind the perfect posts. At the coffee shop, my father looked older than I remembered as he sat across from me in the coffee shop, his cup untouched. Dark circles under his eyes matched the worry lines creasing his forehead. His retirement watch, a modest gift from his former students, seemed to weigh heavily on his wrist. "Your mother doesn't know I'm here," he said quietly, pointedly keeping his phone face down on the table. I figured. I wrapped my hands around my cup, anchoring myself. "How bad is it at home?" "Sophia's been throwing up all morning. Claims it's stress induced from the backlash online." He paused. "Nathan's sleeping in the guest room." That was new. "They're fighting." He sighed. He found more emails. Old ones. From before they were married. He paused again, his voice catching. She did something similar to his ex-girlfriend. Made it look like she was stealing from their shared apartment. Posted about it everywhere to ruin her reputation. "And you're just now believing me?" I couldn't keep the bitterness from my voice. "Emma, I." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it and winced. "Mom." He sighed. "She's called 12 times since I left." "Show me," I said. He turned his phone around. The messages made my stomach turn. "Where are you?" "Sophia's having contractions. Her Instagram followers are so worried. If you're with Emma, I'll never forgive you. The doctor says she might lose the baby because of this stress. Think of her sponsorship contracts." "She's lying," I said flatly. "About the contractions." "Sophia's been posting on Instagram all morning. She's at the salon." Dad's eyes widened. "What?" I pulled up Sophia's stylist's latest post from an hour ago. Sophia getting highlights, smiling at the camera. The caption read, "Pampering my favorite mama-to-be. #pregnant Siglo #sponsored. Oh God," Dad whispered. Your mother's been. She's been crying all morning about Sophia being in the hospital. My phone buzzed. Jamie had sent a link to a new post in our petition group. Someone had shared Sophia's salon photo alongside my mother's Facebook status about rushing Sophia to the emergency room. "It's all falling apart, isn't it?" Dad said, his voice hollow. The perfect social media family we thought we had. It was never real to begin with. The bell above the coffee shop door chimed. I looked up to see Nathan walking in, his face ashen, his phone clutched in his hand. "I tracked Dad's phone location," he said, sliding into our booth. "We need to talk." "About what?" I asked. "About how Sophia destroyed your ex's life on social media. Or about how she's been manipulating everyone for years. About how I'm filing for divorce." The words hung in the air like smoke. "What?" Dad and I spoke simultaneously. Nathan pulled out his phone. "Remember my old girlfriend, Maria? The one who supposedly stole from us and got dragged on social media?" He pressed play on a voice recording. Sophia's voice filled our corner of the coffee shop. Of course, I planted the jewelry in her gym bag. That stupid expletive. Actually thought Nathan would believe her over me. Please. Now she's gone, and I got exactly what I wanted. Just wait until I post about being the forgiving victim. My engagement rates will soar. "Where did you get that?" I whispered. Her old roommate from college sent it to me. Said she's been holding onto it for years, feeling guilty. Nathan's hands were shaking. "There's more. So much more. All hidden behind her perfect posts. God, I've been such a fool." Dad put his head in his hands. "Your mother. She's going to. She's going to have to face reality." I finished firmly. My phone lit up with a notification. Sophia had just gone live on Instagram again, this time from her social media lawyer's office. "Play it," Nathan said. Sophia's tear-stained face appeared on screen, her makeup still camera ready. "I'm here to announce that I'm filing a restraining order against my sister-in-law, who has launched a vicious campaign of harassment against me and my unborn child. And don't forget to use code BLESSED24. Comments were already flooding in. "But you were at the salon an hour ago." Hash receipts. What about the sterling marketing video? Hash exposed stop using your pregnancy to sell products. Hash influencer scam. The live stream abruptly ended. "She doesn't know I'm here," Nathan said. "She thinks I'm at work, supporting her latest damage control campaign." "What are you going to do?" I asked. "I've already done it. Filed for divorce this morning. My lawyer has copies of everything. The recordings, the emails, the videos, the fake pregnancy posts. All of it." Dad's phone buzzed again. Mom was calling. "Answer it," I said. "Put it on speaker." "Roland." "Where are you?" "Sophia's being rushed to the hospital again. Her followers are so worried." "And no, she's not," Dad cut in, his voice stronger than I'd ever heard it. "She's at her lawyer's office, Marlene. I can see her Instagram live stream right now." Dead silence. "Mom," I said, my voice steady. "You're live on every social platform right now. Would you like to explain why you've been lying about Sophia's medical emergencies?" Jamie's analytics dashboard showed our live viewer count climbing as Marcus leaned forward, his legal expertise coming to the forefront. "Mrs. May, he interjected. Are you aware that making false claims about medical emergencies, especially when tied to sponsored content, could be considered fraud? The line went dead. Well, Marcus said, this is certainly more dramatic than we expected. Let's talk about the workplace incidents and social media manipulation. The coffee shop door burst open. Sophia stood there, her face flushed with anger, salon fresh hair perfectly styled for the cameras she thought would be waiting. You little, she snarled at me, then froze as she noticed her live stream was still running from her phone. Ah, perfect timing, Marcus said smoothly. Sophia, would you like to address the allegations? We have some fascinating security footage from Sterling Marketing, along with your engagement metrics showing a pattern of. You can't air this, Sophia said, her voice shaking as she realized no sympathetic followers were coming to her defense. I'll sue the station. For reporting the truth? Nathan stood up. Like the truth about what you did to Maria? About how you built your entire influencer career on destroying others. Sophia's face went white. Who told you about? Your old roommate sent me the recording, Nathan said. The one where you bragged about planting stolen jewelry in her gym bag. Right before you posted about being a victim of theft to boost your following. The cameraman zoomed in on Sophia's face as it crumpled. I was protecting our brand, she whispered. Everything I did was for our social media presence. No, Nathan said firmly. Everything you did was for your engagement rates. My phone buzzed with a text from Dad. On my way with the police. Your mother called them claiming Sophia was being held hostage for a publicity stunt. You want to wait for the police to arrive? I asked Sophia. I'm sure it'll make great content. Mom called them again. Sophia's hand flew to her perfectly made-up face. No. No. No, this isn't how my story was supposed to go viral. Real contractions this time? Jamie asked sweetly, monitoring the social media fallout. Or just more manipulation for views? Sophia's eyes darted around the room, taking in the phones recording her, the witnesses, her husband's disgusted expression. I can explain everything, she said weakly. It was all for the content. The followers expect. Please do, Marcus replied, gesturing to an empty chair. We're live across all platforms, and your followers would love to hear your side. Sirens wailed in the distance. Sophia Hopkins May? A police officer's voice boomed from the doorway. We received a report of a social media personality being held hostage. As you can see, Jamie gestured around the room. Miss Hopkins May walked in here freely, interrupting our discussion about workplace bullying and social media manipulation. This was a setup, Sophia's voice cracked. You're ruining my brand. No, I said calmly. This was consequences. The police officer looked confused. Ma'am, making false reports is a serious offense. Who called this in? My mother, I said, who's been making false reports all day. We have it all documented across multiple platforms. Sophia suddenly lunged for Jamie's laptop. I'll delete everything. All the evidence. I can't let my followers see this. Nathan caught her arm. It's over, Sophia. Everything's already been backed up and sent to my lawyer. Every fake post, every manipulated story. Your lawyer? She laughed hysterically. I'm carrying your baby. Think of our family content, are you? Nathan asked quietly. Because my lawyer has some interesting medical records that suggest otherwise. Records that don't quite match your pregnancy announcement timeline on Instagram. The room went completely silent. The live stream was still running. Sophia's face crumpled as she looked at her husband. Nathan, please, think of my sponsorship deals. Save it for court, he said, turning away. All of it. Every fake post, every manipulated story. As the police began taking statements, my phone lit up with messages from the support group. You did it. She can't hurt anyone else now. Thank you for being brave enough to expose the truth. I looked at Jamie and Marcus, who were beaming with pride. The truth had finally won, and no amount of filters or carefully curated content could hide it anymore. 2 weeks later, at the courthouse steps were crowded with reporters as I walked up, Jamie and Marcus flanking me. 2 weeks had passed since the coffee shop confrontation, and today was Sophia's hearing for multiple charges of harassment, fraud, and false reporting. Ms. May, a reporter thrust a microphone toward me. How do you feel about your sister-in-law's claim that she's checking into a social media addiction treatment facility? No comment, Marcus said firmly, guiding me through the crowd while Jamie monitored the online response. Inside, Nathan sat on a bench, looking exhausted. She's trying to claim diminished capacity, he said as we approached. Her lawyer says she's had a psychological break from living a double life online. Convenient timing, Jamie muttered, tracking the hashtags. The courtroom doors opened, and my parents walked in. Mom's face was drawn, her usual perfectly maintained appearance showing cracks. Dad gave me a small wave. Can we sit with you? He asked quietly. Before I could answer, Sophia's lawyer rushed over. Mr. and Mrs. May, a word, please. Your testimony about your daughter-in-law's social media presence will be crucial. Mom straightened her spine. Actually, we're here to support Emma. The lawyer blinked. But Mrs. Hopkins May said you'd vouch for her online persona. We've done enough of that, Dad cut in. Too much. We've seen the real story behind the perfect posts. The doors opened again. Sophia walked in, wearing a conservative dress and no makeup, clutching a tissue. Her performance was perfect, except for the flash of rage in her eyes when she saw us all together. Her phone was noticeably absent for the first time I could remember. All rise, the bailiff called as the judge entered. My phone vibrated. A message from Maria, Nathan's ex, just landed. Coming straight there. Got more evidence of her social media manipulation. The proceedings began with Sophia's lawyer painting a picture of a troubled woman who needed help, not punishment. A victim of social media pressure and influencer culture. Your Honor, the prosecutor stood. I'd like to call our first witness, Sarah Thompson, former Sterling marketing employee. Sarah approached the stand, her hands steady as she was sworn in. She looked directly at Sophia as she testified about the sabotage, the planted evidence, the orchestrated breakdown, all carefully documented for maximum social media impact. And do you have proof of these allegations? Sarah nodded. Emails, voice recordings, and security footage. Plus 16 other employees ready to testify to similar experiences. We also have extensive documentation of how she used social media to destroy our reputations while building her brand. Sophia's lawyer jumped up. Objection. My client was experiencing social media addiction during, which she documented only after being caught. The prosecutor counted. We have evidence of premeditation spanning years, carefully planned across multiple platforms. The courtroom doors opened quietly. Maria slipped in, carrying a thick folder of printed Instagram posts and analytics. Nathan's face tightened as she sat behind us. The prosecution calls Maria Rodriguez. Sophia's composed facade cracked slightly as Maria took the stand. Ms. Rodriguez, please tell the court about the jewelry incident and subsequent social media campaign. Maria's voice was clear and strong. Sophia planted my grandmother's jewelry in my gym bag, then reported it stolen. But what she didn't know was that I had installed a small camera in my apartment after things started going missing. While she was posting about being a victim of theft to gain followers, I was recording her actions. The prosecutor handed the judge a USB drive. Exhibit C, Your Honor. Security footage showing the defendant placing items in Ms. Rodriguez's bag, followed by her social media posts about the incident. Sophia stood up suddenly. She's lying. They're all lying. Look at my engagement rates. My followers know the real me. Mrs. Hopkins may, the judge warned. Control yourself. I'm pregnant, Sophia wailed. You can't stress me like this. I need to update my followers. About that, Nathan's lawyer stood. We have medical records proving that claim is false, along with timestamps of when she purchased fake pregnancy test results for her social media announcement. The courtroom erupted in murmurs. Sophia's face went from desperate to calculating in an instant. Fine, she said, her voice suddenly cold. You want the truth? Here's the truth. Every single one of them deserved what they got. They were weak, pathetic. I just exposed what was already there and turned it into content. Her lawyer tried to silence her, but Sophia shoved him away. You think I'm the villain? She pointed at me. Look at her. She turned my whole following against me. She destroyed my brand. My sponsorships. No, my mother's voice rang out clearly. You did that yourself, Sophia. With every fake post, every manipulated story, Sophia spun around. You're taking her side? After everything I did for this family's social media presence? You mean after everything you did to this family, Dad corrected. Order. The judge banged his gavel. Mrs. Hopkins may. This outburst will not help your case. Case? Sophia laughed. Oh, I'm guilty. Guilty of being the only one strong enough to build a perfect online life. And you know what? I'd do it all again. The engagement rates were worth it. The judge's face hardened. Given the defendant's admission and the overwhelming evidence, I'm prepared to rule immediately. As the judge detailed Sophia's sentence, multiple counts of harassment, fraud, and malicious destruction of property, I felt a hand slip into mine. Mom's eyes were wet with tears. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I should have seen through the perfect posts. We all should have, Nathan added from my other side. As Sophia was led away by court officers, she turned back one last time. This isn't over. My followers will never believe you. Yes, I said, surrounded by my real family and true friends. It is. The truth hadn't just set me free. It had freed everyone Sophia had ever hurt, both online and off. And that was worth everything we'd been through to get here. 3 months later, ready? Jamie adjusted the microphone on my blazer as we prepared for another television interview. This time, I wasn't nervous. The Workplace Bullying Support Network had grown from a simple petition into a full-fledged nonprofit organization. Today, we were launching a national hotline for victims of workplace harassment and social media manipulation. Remember when you could barely speak up at group meetings? Marcus teased, straightening his tie. As our legal advisor, he'd helped dozens of victims build cases against their abusers, particularly focusing on digital evidence. My phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. Just got Sophia's latest appeal denied. Her attempts to rebuild her social media presence failed, too. It's really over. 5 minutes to air, the producer called out. Mom and Dad arrived, carrying boxes of promotional materials for the hotline. They'd become unexpected allies in the cause, with Mom especially throwing herself into volunteer work, using her experience to help other families see through digital facades. Look what came, Mom said, holding up a letter. Sophia's mandatory therapy progress report. The therapist says she's finally starting to show genuine remorse about using social media to hurt people. Good for her, I said, meaning it. But that doesn't change anything. Of course not, Dad agreed. Some bridges can't be rebuilt, online or off. The studio doors opened, and Maria walked in with her new baby. She'd reconnected with Nathan during the trial, and though they were taking things slowly, documenting their authentic journey rather than a curated fantasy, the spark was definitely still there. Sorry we're late, Maria said, bouncing the fussy infant. Someone didn't want to wear her interview outfit. Nathan appeared behind them, carrying the diaper bag. Like aunt, like niece. Both stubborn as hell. Language around the baby. Mom scolded, but she was smiling. The producer approached with Sarah Martinez, who'd become a strong advocate for our cause after those first explosive revelations. We'll start with the hotline launch, Sarah said. Then discuss the impact your story has had. We've got calls lined up from people you've helped, including me, a familiar voice said. I turned to see Sarah Thompson from Sterling Marketing. She'd gone from victim to board member of our organization, helping other survivors rebuild their careers and reclaim their digital identities. The network's picking up the show nationally, Sarah Martinez added. Your message is going to reach millions. Scared? Jamie asked softly, monitoring the pre-show social media buzz. I looked around at my support system, my real family, both blood and chosen. Not anymore. 2 minutes. My phone lit up with messages from the support group. You gave us our voices back. Watching with my whole office. Thank you for fighting for us. Ms. May, the producer called. We need you and your team in position. As we took our places under the bright studio lights, I caught my reflection in the camera lens. The scared, uncertain woman who once let her sister-in-law throw wine in her face was gone. In her place stood someone stronger, someone who'd learned that speaking up wasn't just about fighting back. It was about lifting others up. 30 seconds. Nathan squeezed my hand. You know what Mom said yesterday? That Sophia did give our family a gift, after all. What's that? She showed us who we really are, beyond the filters and perfect posts, and who we could be. 10 seconds. I straightened my shoulders, feeling the weight of all the stories we'd collected, all the lives we'd touched. 5432. Good morning, Sarah Martinez began. Today we're here with Emma May, whose personal story of workplace bullying and social media manipulation turned into a national movement. As the interview progressed, calls flooded in from across the country. People sharing their stories, offering support, asking for help. Each one reminded me why we'd started this journey. Final question, Sarah said near the end. What would you say to someone who's being bullied or harassed right now, whether online or off? I leaned into the microphone, picturing that evening at Maison Laurent when everything changed. You're not crazy. You're not alone. And you don't have to be silent anymore. We're here. We believe you. And we'll help you fight back. No filters, no facades, just truth. And cut, the producer called. That's a wrap. As the crew started packing up, Jamie hugged me tight. Look what you built from the ashes of what she tried to destroy with her perfect social media life. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from an unknown number. I'm sorry for everything. For the lies, the posts, all of it. Yes, I showed it to the others. Are you going to respond? Mom asked. I deleted the message. Some chapters need to stay closed, online and off. Speaking of chapters, Marcus said, we've got that book deal meeting next week. Ready to tell your story to an even bigger audience? Our story, I corrected, looking at everyone who'd stood by me. It was never just mine. Baby Sophia chose that moment to let out a happy squeal, making us all laugh. Come on, Nathan said. Let's go get lunch. We've got more work to do. As we left the studio together, I realized something. Sophia had tried to write my story for me, casting me as the villain in her carefully curated narrative. Instead, she taught me to write my own. And it turned out to be better than anything she could have imagined. Not because I won, but because we all did, by choosing truth over appearances, reality over perception, and authentic connection over digital perfection.